Have you ever noticed how the world seems to fade away? It starts quietly. You're in a meeting or washing the dishes or walking down a familiar street, and then a switch is flipped. The sounds of reality muffle, the colors desaturate, and you slip sideways into a world that is infinitely more interesting. A world built just for you, where you are the hero, the loved one, the person who says the right thing at the right time. You spend hours there, crafting intricate plots, replaying conversations, building relationships with people who don't exist. And when you're pulled back, the return is jarring, like waking from a beautiful dream. You feel a pang of loss for a place you've never been and people you've never met. We often dismiss this as simple daydreaming, a harmless quirk of a creative mind. But there is a point where this internal escape ceases to be a charming distraction and becomes a profound psychological pattern. It is a sanctuary that slowly, imperceptibly, becomes a prison. And if you don't understand the architecture of this prison, why you built it, what purpose it serves, you risk becoming a ghost in your own life, haunting the hallways of a world you never truly lived in. To understand constant daydreaming, we must first understand its origins. It is almost never born from a place of contentment. Instead, it is a brilliant survival mechanism, forged in the quiet desperation of a childhood marked by loneliness, neglect, or a feeling of powerlessness. For the child who felt invisible, daydreaming was a way to finally be seen. For the child who felt unsafe, it was a fortress no one could breach. For the child who lacked connection, it was a place to create unwavering friends and unconditional love. You learned very early on that when the outside world is disappointing or cruel, you can build a better one inside. This inner world became your secret garden, your refuge. Psychologists sometimes refer to the more extreme version of this as maladaptive daydreaming. It's a state where the fantasy world is so immersive and rewarding that it begins to interfere with real life. The stories in your head become more compelling than your career, your relationships, your own well-being. This isn't a failure of willpower, it's a matter of brain chemistry. Each time you retreat into your fantasy, your brain releases dopamine, the same neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. You are, in effect, conditioning yourself to find reality dull and fantasy intensely gratifying. The real world, with its awkwardness, its rejections, and its disappointments, simply cannot compete with the tailored perfection of the world you command. The great psychoanalyst Carl Jung spoke of the immense power of the inner world, the landscape of the unconscious. He believed that our psyche constantly seeks balance. When our external life is barren, our internal life becomes fantastically overgrown to compensate. The daydreamer is an architect of a magnificent inner cathedral filled with light and art and meaning, but they are building it in the middle of a desert. The tragedy is not the cathedral itself. It is the fact that its beauty is hidden from everyone and that the architect is starving in the barren land outside its walls. Your daydreams are not random noise. They are a map. They are a detailed blueprint of your deepest unmet needs, your unexpressed potentials, and your most profound longings. So, the solution is not to tear down this inner world. To try and simply stop daydreaming is like trying to solve thirst by demolishing an oasis. The act is not only brutal, it misses the point entirely. The path to integration begins not with destruction, but with curiosity. It begins by asking, what does this fantasy give me that my real life does not? Is it a feeling of control, of being loved, of being important? The characters you create, the triumphs you imagine, they are messengers from the forgotten parts of yourself. The goal is to become a bridge between your two worlds,
to take the courage you have in your fantasy and use it to speak up in a real meeting, to take the compassion you feel for a fictional character and offer it to a real friend or even to yourself. If you are a person who has spent a lifetime building worlds behind your eyes, know this: you are not broken or lazy. You are a survivor who found an ingenious way to endure the unendurable. You are a storyteller, an artist who painted masterpieces in the dark to keep a flicker of light alive. Your imagination is not your enemy. It has been your most loyal companion, but it has also been a gilded cage. Your task now is not to escape it, but to open the door and begin carrying the treasures from inside, piece by piece, into the sunlight. Because the purpose of a rich inner life is not to replace the outer one, but to enrich it. And the real adventure begins when you stop being the silent audience to your magnificent story and start living it.